we wanted to discuss, and I know it's something that's I spend a lot of time with, and we've discussed it before a few times. And I don't think Antoine and Adam are massive mobile phone fans
No.
because I remember once asking them the question, will mobile phone games ever replace them? And they were adamant that it would never happen. Mobile phone games are for light fun. But I managed to persuade them with my return to discuss mobile phone games and a variety of topics. I think because there's a lot to discuss when it comes to mobile phone games. As a side note, the real reason I'm back is because if I leave Adam and Antoine alone, they get us warnings on our YouTube account. So
That
now
is
I'm
true.
here to monitor and make sure that they don't get us banned.
We need a babysitter. That's right.
How about you? You quiet, Antoine.
I really join Adam on the fact that there is a lack of lore, if you will, or story because these games are made to be fast-paced and maybe a bit too repetitive since you're not always on your phone and you just want to play, or at least Adam and I want to play for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So the game designers have to content both us who play for very short session and people who want to really invest time. So I find that yes, there's a lack of lore, or in the case of Lord of the Ring, the lore is already there. So they already have this background to build into, which is good. But for something brand new, they won't really spend time on this, and I really like to know the little stories in the background. That's really my stuff, and that's why I do lore, on our channel, because I really like this. And it's kind of lacking, of course, on mobile because that's not really the point. And the repetitive gameplay can wear me down as well. So that's kind of an issue on the community side. Yes, I've been involved on MMOs a lot, Final Fantasy, and I still have big friends on my free companies that I have actually never met face to face, like lots of people. And I really like this aspect. I've played a few games online where you have to, not online, I mean on mobile, that you kind of have to, after a certain level, join a group. But the group I was joining were mainly 5 to 10 years old that I can't really relate to when they were talking. I was like, yes, right. I never went on a Discord community server, which I'm sure I would have found way more mature people, I would say. But each time I go into this group, and yeah, to continue the game, you have to get into this guild. Take random guy, random guild, click. All right, I'm not gonna be friends with these guys, but that's all right. I have to be in one to continue the game. So I have never really looked into the community side of this. So if you say that it's very social and interesting, then I believe you. I just never experienced it yet.
Yeah, I mean, I've never played a social game on a mobile like on that level that you played like Lord of the Rings. So I've never been part of a guild like that. It basically, even in World of Warcraft and in Final Fantasy 14, the guilds that I am in both are technically like me and four other dudes that made our own guild. So I've never been in the big guilds. Um, I've never really been invited to one. I don't know. So maybe it's because I got the little thing over my head, and so nobody wants to invite me because they're like, "Oh, that guy's already got a guild or whatever." But yeah, I've never had that experience personally. I've always thought it would be interesting, but yeah, because also I don't know if maybe this is because I've been a PlayStation fan for so long, but I know with like say Halo and stuff like that, they have what clans, right? Is that what they call them for the shooters, basically? And so I know a lot of these games back on Xbox and stuff, people started building these clans for these online play games. And me being a PlayStation fan, most of my games were single player or local multiplayer. So I never joined that online community. And so I think I was very late to the game. I think World of Warcraft was the first time I really socially interacted with people that I hadn't met in real life. And so because of that, I think I was just kind of behind the curve. But it is kind of daunting to get into it, when you're like, oh, okay, I don't know these people. And then I think there's also kind of a social anxiety of, for example, like I said, with chat, you feel like you have to engage. You feel like you're part of this group. You have to engage with the group, right? And with chat, I feel like it's not that bad, but I feel like with a game, like if I don't play for a week or something, and I'm not contributing to the group, I don't know. I feel like there's a bit of maybe anxiety there that you kind of have to perform and you have to keep up with people or else they're going to be angry at you. I don't know if that's true. Have you ever experienced
Definitely.
something like that?
I mean, most communities and most games that I know, if you're inactive for sort of like a period of maybe 5 or 7 days and you don't let them know, then they'll boot you out. So if you're just constant and just like, I can't be asked this week, then after a couple of weeks, you're just going to end up getting ejected.
Yeah,
like
so
the same for our community for Lord of the Rings next season. We've set like the rules. They have to be Discord active. They have to log on. Not just that, but they also have to be really active in game. You can't just sit there and farm for a few days. You have to move with the team and stuff like that. So it's just really, really high level. So, and if you want to compete and be in the best fellowships and do really well in the season, then you're going to have to play that way. But a lot of us are really exhausted now. We're kind of waiting for the end of the season just to have a short break because it's seasons. So it's only like 2 months in a season. And then it resets. So that's another reason why I kind of like the game. So it's just like, okay, right now we can change teams, change factions. That can be Rohan. We're Lothlorien at the moment. We can be Rohan next time, but you can be Gondor. You can switch. You can be Mordor or Isengard. Everyone's got different units and abilities and different map placements. So our idea is every season we'll just change through the factions and try the different play styles of different units in the different areas. That's something that I really like, and I've not really seen that many other places. So just keep it fresh, and there is new gameplay because the next season you're going to be in a new location. You can have new difficulties. The map is going to be different, and they've said every season is going to be themed as well. So one theme, there'll be different units or different rules or different things apply for each season just to keep you on your toes with different gameplay. So, but the result is a lot of tired people because at the moment our group is so big. There's our one faction, Lothlorien, versus everybody else. So Gondor, Rohan, the dwarves, was Mordor, and Isengard were the only one that was neutral. And we're just also tired because every day we're just logging on and redeploying to another area, fighting them. And then, so, I mean, it is investment, but it's fun. It's a challenge. I kind of like being that heavily invested into a game. And I used to do the same with Final Fantasy. I could quite easily sit there on Final Fantasy for 14 or 16 hours. And I'd look at the clock and I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's like 10 a.m. I've got work in a few hours. So I think I'm just one of those people where I'm a night owl anyway, so I just lose track.
Yeah, I'm a night owl too, but I think it's just, for me, I don't think I could invest like that. I think it would cause familial problems.
That's why it's good on your phone. You're just like,
My wife already complains I spend too much time on my phone. If we literally we go to a restaurant and she'll pull out her phone and she'll check her Facebook feed and I won't pull out my phone and then I'll wait until she's into it kind of a bit and then I'll pull out my phone and then I'll kind of get into something. She'll put her phone away. I don't notice that she's put her phone away and she'll sit there and she'll be like, phone, always phone, and I'm kind of like, you pulled out yours first, but definitely. I've been trying to cut back, and sometimes I'll cut back for a while, and then I'll slowly get back into it. And she's like, "You're always on your forums talking to people," and I think that for me, that's part of the reason. Most of my interaction is on a forum. It's not in a chat group, so I can kind of pop in and out, and it doesn't really matter. Whereas a chat group, so I think that just the way I interact with groups, because I do like forums. They're slower, they're not so active. So I do enjoy that social aspect, but I think it's just the way you're describing it. I think it's just maybe a little bit too fast paced for my lifestyle. Having to constantly be on top of things and checking it every so often. So I think for me, that's part of the reason why I don't get into mobile games as much, or at least not these big social ones like Clash of Clans or Lord of the Rings or the Warhammer type stuff. I'm typically more of a, I really like puzzle games on my mobiles. That's what I like to do. You know, a kind of a puzzle, I can solve it in 5 minutes, and then I'm like, okay, I'm done, and I can go back to whatever I was doing. Yeah, I think for
Maybe you
me,
guys should set yourself a task. I think maybe you guys should set yourself a task. But I mean, we've been talking about this all the way through this, so let's bring it to the fore and say that I have been using BlueStacks for my emulator software. We have mentioned it before, and it is an amazing tool just because you can download it. Connects to the Google Play Store. You can download everything from there. So I was having problems, not having problems, but on your mobile phone there is limitations that you can do, and like Adam says, the battery life and stuff like that. Or sometimes I kind of like to be chatting or doing something else on my phone. I don't necessarily want to have to keep, because often if you alt tab into the game, you alt tab back out again and then go back in again, it's got to reload and it's just a pain. So I found gaming with BlueStacks. I mean, especially I did it only because I wanted to be streaming and I needed to record the content. But actually, many times now, I'll just sit around here, just load on BlueStacks. So I was going to set these guys a challenge that maybe they should choose one of the games from the BlueStacks page and give it a try and see if the experience of the game being on a computer changes their perspective of the game.
I used to do. You guys can. I think our videos are still up on YouTube. I used to stream Free Fire on BlueStacks, so I did that, and then those were some of my most popular streams were with Free Fire. So those were some of the most popular streams that I had were mobile gaming. And I did definitely like the fact that I played on BlueStacks. I do not think I could ever play that game on a mobile, but the fact that, you know, I can aim with a mouse, I can use the keyboard, because they had to customize the controls to allow the game to play in the way you would traditionally play a PC game, so it played like a PC game. But I did enjoy it early on, but then the problem was, I mean, I should probably try a different game, but the problem was with Free Fire was it got to the point where it really started to feel pay to win. Where it got to the point where it was like, okay, I'm starting to get into levels and, people are dropping in with, LMGs and here I am having to, scrounge stuff together, but people are dropping in with LMGs because they're paying the money to start off with these bonus packs and, survival packs or armor or whatever. And if you want to be competitive, you have to, consistently keep it up. So then it was a choice of either play a lot and grind to get a lot of the in-game currency so you could buy these things, or buy them with real money. And that to me, it felt too pay to win, which was part of the reason why I switched over to Apex, which is basically it's still a battle royale game. But yeah, maybe I should try a different game. Maybe it's not the mobile thing. Maybe it's just the Free Fire thing.
How about you, Antoine? Can I tempt you?
Oh, you can definitely. But
Can I tempt you?
as I mentioned before, like job, family, everything. Basically, my gaming time start at 9 o'clock and finish at 11. If I'm really in the mood, because I restart, I get up at 5 in the morning after that. So I really have a very limited time to play. And when I have such limited time, I want to play some things that I really like. Like lately I was doing Scarlet Nexus or Tales of Arise or things like this. So, but I wouldn't be against doing mobile like this if it's something slow pace like a puzzle game or a card game. I used to play Gwent a lot on my computer. Epic Store, I think, was it Gwent? Or anyway, Magic the Gathering. That's for older people. If now your Hearthstone, before there was Magic, and they are still there and still really, really good. But I really like to have a big screen because you have cards with lots of rules, and reading all the rules like this on the tiny phone is annoying. On my big screen, that would be already much better. So it depends on the type of game. And I saw the BlueStacks page. For now, I haven't seen really any kind of game which really tempts me. But again, I just saw the names and I didn't really delve into it, so I don't really know. But that's possible. That is a possibility. I stay open.